All right, guys, we need to talk. While I don't usually like to put myself on a soapbox and act like Moses parting the Red Sea for all of you guys to become bearable human beings, this debate in the industry right now is kind of just too petty for my liking. So I just kind of want to talk about it today, talk about why you guys are all wrong,
and I'm right, and how you should
follow me and subscribe and like if you haven't already. But Tyler, what is this debate you're talking about? Well...
Several big-name movie theater brands are reopening for business after being shut down for months because of the pandemic.
I don't know if you guys have heard, but the movie industry, it's doing okay. Not 2019 or 2018 levels good, but hey, at least we're kind of at a point where theaters can kind of survive without relying on crypto. The number of film productions are increasing, box office sales and streaming services are both at an uptick right now. And the main source of growth for movie theaters has been thanks to superhero films like Spider-Man, Shang-Chi, Venom, and of course other popular Hollywood franchises like Fast and Furious, James Bond, and A Quiet Place. Most recently, the film that's been taking over the theaters in those sweet box office sales is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, directed by Sam Raimi after a 10-year gap since his last film. Pretty exciting, but since it's a Marvel film, of course it's been doing numbers, making $569 million at the box office, and I think in just the opening weekend alone, and of course that's going to increase by the time you're watching this video. However, as mentioned before, this is a superhero movie, so the cinema guys aren't really going to like that too much.
The value of a film that's like a theme park film, for example, the Marvel's not cinema, it's something else.
Of course, the great Martin Scorsese's comment about superhero films not being cinema still has a great prominence on the industry and on forums everywhere. You guys may have seen this image right here, this tweet actually, in which 70 screenings of Doctor Strange were being played at the Times Square AMC in one day. In a single fucking day. Listen, to those true film fans, I'm very sympathetic. I understand. 70 screenings, one day, that's pretty outrageous. And those screenings could have definitely benefited in other films such as The Northman or Everything Everywhere at Once. And in general, Marvel, DC, any other superhero movie basically dominates the theaters. And these films definitely take away the ticket sales that would have otherwise went to perhaps some more original, new idea films. And also FYI, one of my favorite YouTubers, Carson Runquist, made a video basically the same as this one not too long ago, where he touched on how Disney in the past has definitely had some pretty gross practices when it comes to film releases, particularly when Tarantino had to go up against Disney when it came to The Force Awakens.
It really fucking pissed me off.
Taking screenings and basically making theaters go against their contracts with other filmmakers just so they could please this capitalistic mouse company. However, I do think a lot of the public discourse going on social media such as Twitter and YouTube, it's a little obnoxious. I think it's a little petty. I don't really think it's actually kind of leading to any sort of change, because at the end of the day, guys, Marvel movies are movies. Am I wrong? Like it or not, these films are being played basically right next to the films that particularly us film enjoyers, our traditional film enjoyers, like. So pardon for the controversial hot take, but I do feel like these films deserve fair critique, fair discussion, not shit posts on Twitter. Like, I'm sorry, if I see one more discussion about true cinema, if you use the term cinema or like true films or true cinema, you're a very big reason why no one is going to take you or us seriously. But with that out of the way, like I said, there is room for fair critiques, and that's what I'm going to spend the rest of this video talking about on both sides. So I'm going to take the corporate side first. I know, this is very popular. I get it. This video is sponsored by Disney. Please catch Doctor Strange in theaters. Please catch Obi-Wan Kenobi by the blue milk from Disney World. I hate to keep talking. I feel like I've said this shit like 20 times, but the 70 screenings, it's excessive. But is it that excessive for MCU? These films attract hundreds of millions on the regular, and sometimes even billions of dollars if we're talking about Endgame and Spider-Man. And of course, that converts to a shit ton of ticket sales. which means a lot of screenings. And while 70 screenings is crazy, especially for one day, I mean, come on, it kind of makes it a bit more reasonable, even though I don't think a lot of those sold out, because on the second weekend, Doctor Strange took kind of a larger than expected hit on movie ticket sales. Basically what I'm arguing, or kind of lobbying up for you guys to just slam down, is that a lot of this debate has to do with supply and demand. I think the general population, the general moviegoer, isn't, consciously or choosing to hate one film over the other. They're just going to see what looks interesting and what's been playing in the YouTube mid-rolls recently, or what they've been seeing on TV recently. When was the last time you saw a commercial for The Northman? Everything Everywhere at Once. The Men, that new horror movie by the guy who made Ex Machina, or other films such as The Lighthouse, another Robert Eggers movie, another A24 movie, Uncut Gems, The Master. I was going to say Licorice Pizza, but that got some decent ad time. The Last Duel by Ridley Scott, which notoriously flopped hard last year. You probably have never seen any advertising for any of these films, probably other than Everything Everywhere All at Once, which achieved some miraculous box office success, even for a film that typically struggles at the box office. I scrapped a video a few months back, but it was basically about where theaters are now, as opposed to when I made my last video about them in 2020, early 2021. And even though I scrapped that video, what I found was really interesting in that a lot of original films, a lot of these high concept type films, if you will, they flopped in the theaters. But similar kind of new concept movies did great on streaming services like Netflix, such as Don't Look Up, The Guilty, and a lot more. So I feel like a big issue that I think these films, these high concept, these A24, these art films kind of have to find a solution towards is through awareness, and by really putting those films out there. I mean, hey, I loved the Northman trailer, but even if you do actually go out of your way to find it, because that's how you need to find it, it does kind of look like every other like Nordic Viking kind of piece of content out there. I don't have a magic pill to make, I can't snap. I don't have the magic pill to make the problems just go away. But yeah, I think awareness, big issue that maybe these films, these production companies should, maybe they should put a little bit more advertising dollars down the table. But yeah.
Bro, can you calm down?
No! Bro, they're gonna come back in the next hour.
Ryan, please, we're not even done with the movie.
I'm so happy my expectations weren't challenged.
Cinema was about revelation, aesthetic, emotional, and spiritual revelation. It was about characters, the complexity of people and their contradictory and sometimes paradoxical natures, the way they can hurt one another and love one another, and suddenly come face to face with themselves. And that was the key for us. It was an art film. Art form. You've spent so much time on this transition. You already fucked it up. Oh my God. I remember going to see Spider-Man, as I'm sure you did. Okay, I'm sure you did. And while I did have a good time, it was a pretty fun experience. It didn't really hit me. You know, clearly it did not have kind of the emotional hit or experience as a film like Goodfellas, as There Will Be Blood, The Master, and the impactfulness of, say, a Safdie brothers movie like Good Time, Uncut Gems, 2001: A Space Odyssey. I can't believe I just compared Spider-Man to fucking 2001: A Space Odyssey, but you know what I mean. It did feel kind of manufactured in a sense, with safe jokes and a plot that definitely did feel like it was tested on a broad audience, like Scorsese said in his beautiful piece linked down below. And I really don't want to denounce or shame any fan of these movies that do get that impactfulness from these movies, because I understand this movie, even though it didn't hit me personally, this singular movie, I mean, it's a part of a huge spectrum of film. It's a huge storyline. But I do think there's a good reason why a lot of traditional film fans don't really like these superhero movies, since a lot of the stakes feel kind of artificial and kind of by the book. At the same time, though, of course, superhero films are not the devil. That is not my stance, personally. And I don't think it should really be anybody's stance. I understand the Doctor Strange release, pretty ridiculous. I'll agree with that. And even though these very polarizing opinions are kind of fun to create some buzz on Twitter or on YouTube, to create some personality with this debacle, I do think it's really important to at least give Marvel films and superhero films in general, Hollywood films, some respect. We all want great movies, honestly. And, you know, the excitement that we get from watching a new Tarantino, a new Scorsese, a new PTA film is probably, honestly, the same excitement somebody gets from watching the new Doctor Strange or the new Iron Man, or are they making a new Iron Man? You get the point. That's all that I'm trying to say. Don't kill me in the comments. But yeah, I hope this was concise. I hope this made sense. I hope this added to the general pool of knowledge, of debate. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I would love to talk more about this topic because I think it's really important. I think it's kind of the main hurdle for the film industry right now. It seems like a lot of these films are really struggling in the box office. I mean, The Northman unfortunately flopped, and it sucks because a lot of these movies are great. Even though I haven't seen The Northman, maybe I should shut up. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a splendid day. Enjoy the summer, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.